Good morning, good evening, and good day. Hello, G1s. It's Tom the Iron Man back here for the G1 interview for G1 Features exclusively on ScrewAttack.com. Now, here we have today, we have a G1 who has kind of come out of nowhere, and he is a consummate professional on Twitter. And by professional, I mean sometimes a professional troll and sometimes a professional mastermind when it comes to pulling off unbelievably cool stunts, especially when it involves the HQ staff. That is G1 Madden 07. Sean, sir, are you there?
Hello, everyone.
Hey, look at that! And and as I was saying just before we went live, I was admiring your fluorescent lighting in the background because I actually have one myself. Before we dive headfirst into the questionnaire right here, how did you get into obtaining both of those? Because as I said, I have the Xbox one from when I was a manager at GameStop, but that was damn near close to 11 years ago.
Well, the Xbox One, I kind of got the same way you did. I had a buddy who worked at GameStop years ago, and then he was getting ready to move and had a yard sale and offered to give it to me for $50. So
wow. I
couldn't pass that up. And then the PlayStation one, I actually bought it off eBay for $100 years and years ago. But it's worked pretty well ever since. It's got a slight hum to it, but other than that, it's perfect.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, because like the Xbox One, if I'm not mistaken, is just using regular CFLs from behind. I could be wrong, but, you know, to get a fluorescent sign like that and from eBay and have it safely shipped and arrive in one piece, pretty outstanding. So you guard that thing with your life, and I'm sure there's some way to re-inject it with new lighting element should the thing fizzle out. Even if it isn't, that's a piece of history on both of them, and they're definitely worth keeping long term. So awesome on you there, man. That kind of stuff needs to stay around for posterity's sake. So, good sir Sean, numero uno question for you, sir. How did you first hear of Screw Attack?
Well, it was back in around 2008, and I had just moved down to here to Cincinnati from Chicago. And I started watching some of the Angry Video Game Nerd videos, which I'm sure that's how a lot of the G1 got into Screw Attack. But at first, I just kind of saw the logo on the videos and didn't think much of it. You know, just thought it was, I don't know what I thought it was at the time. I didn't think it was a porn site. That's for one.
Oh, man, they haven't had that accusation in a long time.
Yeah. But anyway, after that, I kind of started digging around and actually watching the nerd videos on the site. And then from there, I just kind of started getting into it. Although I didn't become more of a G1 until probably 2010 when Twitter kind of blew up and then things started getting more interesting around the HQ. So that's about the time all that went down for me. Nice.
Yeah, you know, that's funny that you mentioned 2010. I actually remember on Side Scrollers when they were actively promoting their presence on social media like Facebook and Twitter, and it was it was kind of funny because there was this one promo between Craig and Corey when they were promoting the Too Hot for Internet DVD, and Craig was like, you can put it on Twitter, you can put it on Facebook, just let everybody know. It's just like, we don't have a firm grasp on this, and boy do they do now. But it was just really, really humbling and funny to look back on those unscripted promos about putting stuff on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, because Twitter came out in 07, but you're absolutely right, it really didn't explode until 2010, where big companies were starting to get on board with that stuff. So that's pretty rad. So you say back in like 2010 was the time that you really became a G1. What really made you go and click on that become a G1 button?
Well, I wanted to start posting some more blogs at some point, which never got around to doing, but I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to be part of the community because it was just so welcoming, and you know there weren't really any many trolls or anything like that. Where like the rest of the internet, there's a ton of that, you know. But that's the biggest thing, and I felt like Craig and all the guys at the HQ, like I felt like they were my friends that I went to high school with or something like that. They're just so welcoming, and I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
No, I totally know what you mean right there, because I on a previous interview with another G1, I had made the comment that Handsome Tom's Video Game Vault for Batman on the NES was the episode that made me go, these guys remember this stuff like I do. You know, and when they got to top 10 2D shooters, which was a scant 2 months after that one, they brought up on, I think it was number 8 on the list. It was Raptor Call of the Shadows, which was a DOS game. I was like, oh my God, I played the shareware version of that until my mother bought me the full version. I thought I was the only person that remembered that game. So yeah, I totally know what you mean, that they feel like family to you, and they're really, truly personalities of the internet, not personas, which you tend to find on some other sites. You know, not to slam anybody in particular, but, you know, some people put up on a really big front, but you really don't get the backstage view to them, and you really don't know who you're talking to if you meet them IRL. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so nice pull right there, sir. So what is currently your favorite show on the site right now?
Well, honestly, I like the top 10s a whole bunch, but the industry, that's coming out of nowhere for me. I mean, I am absolutely loving that. Yeah. And I'm not just trying to say that they get a cheap plug-in, but, you know, it's...
No, there's nothing cheap about that. That is a personal passion project of mine to make sure that succeeds.
Yes, and I can understand that entirely.
So out of the 3 that have been released so far, what is your favorite?
Honestly, I think, and I hate to say this, the Death Battle one, because it just seems like Sean had a lot of fun filming that. Especially, well, Sean and Tori.
Right.
And I know that's the one that doesn't need help getting any more views.
Right.
But
yeah, it broke.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that one really broke like 100K just that weekend. And I don't know if it was because it had Death Battle in the title, but when you actually sit down and watch that one, you know, it's interesting because Sean really can act, which is fantastic. But it's something about Ben and Torian playing off each other that just seems so genuinely natural. Like, it wasn't reading from a script. But it was just like if the two of them were really having a conversation. And of course, then there was the fight itself. Hello, Snake.
Like
do you want
Sean
to
actually did.
Yeah, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he actually attempted to do it, and that's what ended up happening.
Right.
And
if Sean watches this, I'm not slamming your animation skills. I'm just saying Torian's got you beat by a slight amount. So.
By this much. And just to show how intentionally rough around the edges that whole thing was, the whole part at the beginning where they were pointing their guns at each other, when it flashes over to Snake, there's actually like screen tearing through the background so you can see the unrendered model of the rest of the map. It was pretty, yeah, but that's a good one. I'm a sucker for the Death Battle episode myself, although I will say the one with Craig with the ghost.
Yeah, that
now having context to the one where it's like, I will fuck your world for real. You know, it's a little peek behind the curtain. I was invited to the HQ the day that I got to in town, and I actually got to see a little bit of that being filmed in the office. It was just the scene where Sean said, "So what's Craig afraid of?" But I mean, still, it was really cool to see the creative process happening in real time. So, but the Death Battle and the Ghost episode are the only 2 ones I saw. So from here on out, I'm going into blind, and I am so excited. So, yeah. So now, actually, to that point right there, we all have our favorite band members. You know, like our favorite member of the Rolling Stones. But who do you find yourself gravitating towards as an HQ member? You know, they're all like brothers and sisters to us, like we said at the top of this. But who do you find yourself looking forward to as appearing in any video?
Oh, hold on 1 second. My light just fell down.
Oh, I was wondering what happened there.
Yep, there we go.
Real-time lighting, guys. It's 2001 all over again.
But back to the question. I think it's got to be a tie between Sean and Craig. I mean,
the bromance continues.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, well, we share the same name, so that's one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he just seems like a really outgoing guy with a genuine personality. I mean, he seems like he would do anything for anybody. I mean, I don't know. I just really like Sean, as much as I might not show it on social media sometimes.
We'll get to that in a hot second.
And then Craig, as far as him, I feel like and growing up, I've always kind of been an athletic person, and I know Craig was athletic, when he was younger. Maybe a little bit now, but maybe not so much. But also, I was kind of the gamer kid in my group too. Nobody really understood what like old Super Nintendo games were, like old NES games. And to me, that's what I grew up with. I didn't grow up with the PlayStation 2s and Xbox 360s. I grew up playing retro things.
Right.
So, and I feel like
it's almost disheartening to what we grow up now as being called retro, for the same way that our parents probably felt when we started digging through vinyl and started calling that retro.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I don't know. Well, the weird thing to think about is like the Xbox, like the original Xbox and PlayStation 2, that's considered retro now. I'm just like,
I really can't bring myself to say that. I can barely bring myself to call Generation 5 the PlayStation, the Saturn, and the N64. I can barely bring myself to call that retro.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm 33 and hanging on by a thread, and I'm just not ready to go ahead and admit that I am that old, even though I really show my age both online and in my Twitch streams about how far removed I am from many points in social life right now.
Yeah, I understand that fully, and I'm only 21, so...
I know, and that's the thing. You are, in many ways, like Lady Marargon, who has such a great appreciation for the stuff that came before her, that you are also waist deep into a lot of that stuff, too. And you're separated by 6 years, and I'm separated from you by 12 years. So it really gives me hope when you kids are embracing the stuff that I grew up with, and you're keeping those memories alive. So right in the feels, man. Yeah. Now, talking about Craig and his athleticism, he's was always a huge fan of basketball, but have you seen his slam ball video?
I have, and that is hilarious to watch. So
yeah, it's really funny. I actually remember slam ball when it was new, and I actually watched a couple of games. For all I know, I could have seen Craig playing back then in 01 and not even known it was him. So I really wish I had taped that stuff just so I could go back and say if that was him or not.
Right.
He's often made jokes at his own expense that he was the only white guy in the team. I definitely remember seeing that once or twice. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe we'll bring slam ball back and Craig can be a coach at least.
Oh man, that would be something else. Because a couple of years ago, do you remember when he tried to get voted in as the PA announcer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mark Cuban, every once in a while, will still get that question asked when he's at a press conference or a meeting about why they didn't choose Craig Skistimus as the public address announcer. I'm like, yes! Maybe one day that will come to pass, and we can all go, it's like, we know that guy for real. I would go see a Mavs game just to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the same way I would go to the Capitals to go ahead and just hear Wes Johnson. Yes, the same Wes Johnson from Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Oh. Just unleash the fury! So, also I like hockey, but that's
who
that's beside the point. So, now to that end, and you may have already answered this, but what was the last video you saw on the site that genuinely made you laugh?
That genuinely made me laugh? Oh, well... There's a lot. I mean, I like to go back and watch Screw Attack TV and, things like that. But the salsa eating challenge always is a good laugh. So, even if it does have Nick throwing up in it. But it's a classic.
Yes, it is. Here we go. All right, 3, oh, my gosh. 2, that was, oh man, there was so much going on back then. Destin was in that video before he was even officially introduced. That was his first day on the job, and he's like, oh my god, I almost saw 2 people die that day. And it was later revealed that when Craig went ahead and soaked a shirt in water for Ben, he had gotten it out of a bird bath that was somewhere nearby.
Gosh.
Oh man, that was just so real. And the really creepy thing about that whole video is that Craig said he used the music from Meridia in Super Metroid, very nice and soothing when Ben started to lose consciousness, and then turns into the Super Metroid fight music from the fight with Mother Brain, and I was absolutely like, this is totally inappropriate. How are you making light of this situation by putting that terrifying music in there? Oh my gosh, that's a good one. That's a really, really good one.
And then I also saw recently, I think it was Sean Boland's send-off when he was still an intern.
Oh my gosh!
Area in the Hendersons. That was hilarious to me. I love that one, absolutely.
Oh my, yeah, that was a big deal. And it's not often that interns get such send-offs on camera as he does. I mean, Ryan, he got a big one. It was actually a clip of the week of all things.
Oh yeah.
And it was funny because leading up to its release, if you go back and read his Twitter account, and I think his Twitter was still Yahono back then, he said, Ben's making me fix the leaky ceiling. I don't feel like it. Oops, I killed Ben. Well, no point in stopping now. And then the clip of the week cam was like, oh, is that what was going on, you know? Sean Turn.
Yeah.
Sean Turns send off and eventual return. That's pretty awesome. So, Shawnee, what do you feel that the G1's best know you for?
Oh, probably for my social media antics, more than anything else. I don't know. I kind of got into the website after, putting videos on there and like posting blogs was kind of going by the wayside, so they didn't know me from that necessarily, but
right.
I've kind of picked up on the Twitter shenanigans and, sending things to the HQ is what I like to do too, even if it is in jest sometimes.
Yeah, I know, like, I remember you sent like a whole pizza buffet at one point, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That was about two or 3 months ago, and I don't know what came over me. I think I was just... It was in the middle of winter, and I was just kind of feeling down. And I was like, I feel like I should do something nice.
Thought
I've been watching a bunch of Screw Attack, and I really enjoy all the people at the HQ. I mean, they're just genuinely nice people and people that I care about. If that's not too creepy to say. So.
No, it's not, and that's the thing. I've known these guys for, going on... okay, let me put it this way. I met these guys in person in 2009. I've known them for almost 10 years. So, I mean, it's one of those things that you do get attached to these people, and you genuinely care about them, and if you see them having a bad day, you feel bad. If you see them having a good day, you feel even better. Now, my question to you about the whole pizza thing... How did you, and this is, this is privileged information, of course, but how do you know the office's address?
Well, honestly, it's on the About Us section on the website.
Right.
So, maybe it's the FAQ. It's one of the two. But yeah, and I just happened to check that one day, and found out I was there, so.
See, they used to have a P.O. box.
Yes,
so I guess they did away with that.
Yeah, because I had sent something earlier in the year as well to the P.O. box, and it got rejected and sent back. And
oh, wow. Okay. So, I mean, yeah.
I think it was when they were moving to the new HQ, and things just kind of were in transition, so.
Right. Well, they actually do have a big old pin pad lock on the door now, and Hybrid Rain asked me to turn away while he put the code in, and I'm like, oh, is this like going to the Batcave? So I out of respect... that was the whole thing that they've been wanting to have a place that they could let people in on an individual basis. But if you've ever seen the old offices, there was no way to prevent people from showing up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this one, they finally have the privacy they've always needed, but also the space they've needed to work in as well. So that's actually pretty cool that I had no idea it was there. So I guess that makes it a hell of a lot easier for them to get wonderful buffets of food whenever they need it.
Giant bags of salt. So.
Okay, so that's actually the next question. Please to explain the whole story behind that, because people may not have context to the whole thing as to why did you send Bolin a giant-ass bag of salt?
Yeah, well, I've been watching Screw Attack live probably since its induction.
As everybody should.
Exactly. Get those view counts up, guys.
Yes, please.
But and Bolin's always been kind of the more charismatic one of the duo, to say the least. And so I've always kind of wanted to send him something, and I wasn't quite sure what I could do. And then one day I just happened to be on Amazon and noticed that they had giant 25-pound bags of salt with free shipping, and I was like, oh, I can't pass this up. Like, this is just the perfect opportunity here. So I happened to send it to him, and then I think it took about 2 weeks to get there, and I was kind of concerned that maybe it got lost or, I don't know, something happened to it. And then I saw them post the opening of it on Facebook, and it was a good day for me, and I'm sure a lot of Screw Attack Live fans out there. So.
Yeah, Salty Sean really got that. Lived up to the name that day. And that's just, like, absolutely crazy that, you know, well, one, that Amazon had something that big and was able to ship it, too. You know, with the whole thing with Prime Pantry. I know John from Hard for Games up in Detroit really took advantage of that when they brought the whole nonsense of Prime Pantry out, and they said, well, if you're going to charge me an additional $5 for shipping, I'm going to order an entire pallet of Surge.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's just like, and I saw it. It was just like, what the hell, man? So yeah, that's crazy. So is now, forgive me if I've missed anything, but have you done any more surprise deliveries before or since?
Before, I think I sent it was like 20 pounds of wasabi peas, and then I think I also sent a giant thing of Slim Jims too. So.
Yeah.
And
who doesn't need?
I think that was it though.
Yeah. Who doesn't need pure protein in their diet? You know, in the honor of the late Randy Savage, snap into a Slim Jim.
And at one point, I had thought about sending those sugar-free gummy bears, but I didn't want to torture anybody at the office. So.
Oh, yeah. You know, when you see something like sugar-free gummy bears, it's like, you know, caffeine-free Mountain Dew, and I'm like, what's the point?
Oh, yeah.
You know, well, I mean, like, you either drink Mountain Dew for the flavor or you're drinking it for the caffeine, you know?
Well, and the thing about the sugar-free gummy bears is, though, if you eat enough of them, they're essentially a laxative.
Oh, my God, I had no idea.
Yeah, so if somebody offers you sugar-free gummy bears, don't eat them.
Oh my God, that's unbelievably cruel. I'll have to keep that in mind and maybe just put them in a bowl somewhere at a party that I'm not particularly happy to go to, and let's see what happens. We've replaced their regular gummy bears with the sugar-free variety. Oh boy, that's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, that's wow. I mean, from one end, extreme generosity, and to another, unbelievable trolling. But the friendly kind, one that's not going to offend and people will get the joke. And someone not too long ago, and forgive me, I'm sure someone's going to remind me in the comments, somebody sent 92 salt shakers to fill those things up with.
Oh, I had seen that as well.
Yeah, so. and it was just like, I saw the picture of Bolin with all of them on his desk, like, very fucking funny, guys. Yeah, good stuff. So, and it was shortly after the pizza thing that I actually followed you on Twitter. So that's actually kind of an interesting thing, and that's the thing. I really try to make it a point to follow as many G1s as I possibly can online. I previously tried to keep my follower count at 400 because when you use a Twitter streaming client like MetroTwit, your timeline can move pretty damn quick. So, you know, it's, but as time's gone on, you learn to deal with it, and it's, of course, very important to me to stay in touch with everybody. So, I am pleased to have met you by such a great way, such as that.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine.
Yes. Now, is there a particular name, well, I'm sorry, not a particular name, a particular story behind your G1 name? Did you just adapt your given name into that, or is there an actual passion for the Madden franchise, or is it just a play on words?
Well, honestly, it is kind of to the Madden franchise, tied to that.
Okay.
But I remember it was 2006. I got Madden 07 on Wii and was so excited to play with the new motion controls, and then they sucked. It was miserable. But I still had fun with it. But and I don't know, that's the last Madden I've ever bought in my life, and I've just kind of had ties to it, and I've always really enjoyed the game. Since then, I bought it on every other platform it was released on, and just, I don't know. I've liked it a bunch, and then plus it ties into my name, so it works out really well. So.
Maddin.
Yes, not quite spelled the same, but I have ancestors who spelled it with an E, so I'm thinking somewhere along the line we just didn't know how to spell and mixed it up. So.
Go up on genealogy.com or whatever that website is and find out who's the one that pulled the trigger and said, we should probably... That's the wrong vowel. Let's use the different vowel. E's are too common. Let's use an I. Nice. So, the motivation behind these random acts of kindness, it really was genuinely random acts of kindness, or did it have a little bit of a deeper meaning to it?
It was essentially just random acts of kindness. I firmly believe that if you do a random act of kindness a day, or even just once a week, it'll come back to help you out later on in life. And there's no better way to do a random act of kindness than to see the genuine appreciation or hear the genuine appreciation from the person that you're doing it for.
Yeah, sometimes the giving of gifts is not so much the gift itself, it's the person who's sending and seeing the recipient's response to it. I am definitely with you on that. It's holidays to me these days are more about seeing people's reactions of delight when they get something that they did not expect. So I'm right with you on that, man. Yeah. So...
With that being said, though, I feel like random acts of kindness shouldn't be strictly to get, a reaction out of someone. I mean, you don't need to see that, but it's always nice to see that when you're appreciated, I feel like. So
Absolutely.
It can go both ways.
Yeah. I'm not a particularly religious person, but I do believe in karma. And truly what goes around comes around. So the universe has an interesting way of righting itself and balancing things out. So, folks, I encourage you to do the same because you never know. A butterfly flaps its wings over here and a tsunami happens halfway around the world. Something is all connected to that. So now, sir, when it comes to life outside of Screw Attack, what do you partake of? Because as we all know, Hellman's the only one that never leaves the site.
Well, when I'm not busy interneting, I have a Jeep that I love to work on.
Oh, is it a Wrangler?
Yes, it is.
It's fantastic.
Yes. It's great. I've had it for 3 years now, and that's essentially my life outside of the internet and video games. But I do that, and then I also collect video games a ton. I don't know if you can see a little bit behind me
I do see that. That's some very nice shelving. Who made that? Is that IKEA?
Yes, the one to my left here is IKEA, but the one behind me, I don't remember where I got it from. But I've been collecting video games since about... I'll say 2007 is when I started getting into it. And since then, I've got a lot of stuff, like those signs, and then I've got a Mountain Dew Xbox down there somewhere.
What? Is it, like, easily accessible?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Oh, please, I want to see this. What the hell, man? I never knew those existed.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the green one, which was actually the dev kits for the original system, and then there was the crystal blue ones that were only available in Japan, but what's the story behind that? Where did you get that from? Was that actually like a Mountain Dew contest thing?
Yeah, well, I didn't win it from the Mountain Dew contest.
Okay.
But from what I understand, they gave them away years ago, and you had to drink a bunch of Mountain Dew and then buy it online or something like that.
Okay.
But I actually found this at a yard sale close to me, and they didn't know what it was worth, and they said, "Do you take $50 for it?" And I was like, yeah, no problem. Like, I'll $50.
That is crazy. Because, when you do find stuff like that, and, like, when I go to MagFest or even SGC, or even before that when I was still running a GameStop store, if somebody brought in something that was uncommon or rare or something that I was personally going after, I would have to put on my best poker face of all time and hope that they found the trade value agreeable so I could buy it for myself the next payday would roll around.
Oh, yeah.
So, man, that's awesome. Now, what are some other highlights of the collection on back there?
Oh, I've got an Earthbound and a boxed Secret of Mana.
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Yeah, I think it's right behind me here.
Dude, okay, Secret of Mana has a big part in our family right here. My brother actually got that. He wanted to play it somewhere he saw the artwork and said, I need to play this. And it came out around the same time as Chrono Trigger, and I was kind of bummed out that Chrono Trigger was a turn-based RPG, not knowing about how its active turn battle system was different from like other RPGs of the day. But like he took a dive on that, and it ended up being such a hit with all of us because it was 2-player. Well, I mean, it was up to 3, but none of us had a multi-tab back then.
Right.
And even though he's moved out and he's gone off to, strike it out after his college education, he says it's mine, but I'm really holding it on for him until he comes back to claim it. And the battery still works, which I'm amazed because that thing's almost 20. No, it is 20 years old because I think it came out in 94. Or 93. Anyways, it's been a long-ass time. So that's really cool. Now, how did you obtain that?
A yard sale again.
Oh, my gosh. I need to move to Cincinnati. This is where it sounds like it's at.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's not even just yard sales. It's more estate sales because people just want to get rid of all the crap.
Right.
What they think is crap anyway. Mm-hmm. And they'll just take, the lowest offer they can get, essentially.
Wow.
If I remember right, I paid, it was like $10 for this, and then a PS1, like the slimmer model of it. Mm-hmm. And then, they just wanted to get rid of all their stuff. And I was like, absolutely.
Is amazing. And you said you had Earthbound, which has been an absolutely sought-after gem for many people out there. And it's funny because a lot of people anticipated the value of the physical cards going down ever since it came out on the Wii U's Virtual Console, and in fact, it has gone back up again.
I've actually made cases for all my games,
too. That's cool.
But, there's the cart.
That is really cool. Now, as far as those cases go, and actually, I have my copy of Battle Kit over here. And it's probably going to get chroma keyed because there's a lot of green in here. Actually, it's not. That's amazing. But, yeah, it has the same little clamshell box, but I don't know where to get these to actually, fill out all my loose copies of stuff.
Well, I know where you can get them from, and I'll send you a link when we're done with all this.
Oh, I would sincerely appreciate that because there's certain NES games that I have. Like, I have a reproduction card of Earthbound 0, which is actually the North American prototype that was localized and translated but never released. It's actually not the Earthbound 0 one that's out there, which is actually the Japanese ROM, which has a very abrupt and unsatisfying ending. So if you're going to play it, make sure it's either the one on the Virtual Console that's actually localized, or if you're going to buy a repro card, kids, make sure it's actually the one that's based off the North American realm. So, yeah, that's crazy. Now is that the Modern Warfare 2 headset that Night Vision set I see back there?
Oh no, I actually do not have one of those.
Okay, what's those two boxes that are on the that's to the right of the Guitar Hero?
Oh, the two boxes. Right here somewhere?
Right above that.
Oh, no, these are just more milk crates full
of... Oh, they are? Okay. It kind of looked like the Night Vision goggles box, because I got that, and I actually set it up and started messing around with it, and my cats were completely confused, like, Daddy can see in the dark! What's going on here? Yeah.
Yeah, that's just more crap that I have. This is my Xbox controller cables. And
yeah.
And let's see. Nintendo 64 stuff.
Nintendo 60! Oh, your Pokemon fell out of there.
That's okay. I've got like 5 copies.
So any other noteworthy acquisitions that you have in there you'd like to share?
Oh, I've got a Halo Xbox console, and then I actually have a 3DO. Which...
Oh man, hold that shit up because because there was that one game that Sam and Chad played, and I can't remember it. It was back in the oh man, okay, that's the is that the Gold Star version?
No, it's the Panasonic. I think it's the FZ1.
Okay. Yeah, because 3DO kids actually had 3 different models. Yeah. That's okay. That's actually pretty crazy. I can't remember what the game was, but it was a first-person shooter, and you were in a haunted house or something like that. And the thing I remember the most about it was when they were playing it, there was an option to play for fun and play for keeps. And they chose play for keeps, and they were like busting through it. It's like, man, Chad, I'm really glad we're playing for keeps. It was just really, really silly. Man, that's quite a spread you have on there. Never stop preserving history by collecting stuff the way you do. Absolutely. Now, the Jeep itself, what year is it?
It's a 2006. It's the last of the good ones. So.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
But,
that was before the automotive collapse.
yeah.
So I can that's good stuff. Now, does it have the stock Wrangler SRA tires on there, or did you put something bigger on that?
Oh no! Since then, I'm actually in the process of lifting it today.
Oh, okay.
Putting a little bit bigger tires on and a winch and all that on.
Oh,
so.
yeah, gotta have a winch. You never know when that's gonna come in handy.
Yeah.
You're gonna put some 31 10.5 by 15s on there.
That's what I got right now.
Hey, I know something about cars every once in a while. Yeah, put some LTs on there and go off-roading for real. Now, have you taken it off-road, or has it been primarily a highway Jeep?
A little bit of both. More so highway, though. I have friends who like to go off-roading, and that's actually why I bought it in the first place.
Oh, man, cool.
But yeah, around here, there's a decent amount of places to kind of go, but not as many as I would like. So it's just nice being able to take it easy and, you know, take the path less taken.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, make your own road, which is something that only Jeep owners would truly understand. Yeah. Have you started using synthetic oil on that yet?
Oh, yeah. It's at about 116,000 right now, so I started doing full synthetic.
Here's to another 116, sir.
Oh, yeah. I've got friends who've had theirs go way into 300,000 with no issues.
Yeah.
So.
Now, my friend in high school, Bill, he had a 89 Wrangler.
Oh, yeah.
And that thing was freaking unstoppable. And there was a particularly bad snowfall in early 2000. And we were driving home from Lovettsville, which is a German settlement from way back in like 1790. And the road connecting it to the other major burbs and there was off of Berlin Turnpike. You know, again, you know, it's a German settlement, so that's where the name came from. And the snow was so bad that we actually couldn't go faster than 35 because visibility was that low. And then we hit something, and we're like, what the hell was that? You know, and we got out of the Jeep and looked, and it was a downed telephone pole.
Oh, my gosh.
And we actually put it in, you know, really, like, in first gear, very carefully drove over it and got back home. And by the time we got there, we noticed the driver front leaf spring had come undone.
Oh, gosh.
And we were able to go ahead and reset it eventually. And then we had to call the dealer and actually get all the leaf springs replaced out of concern for that. But the fact that that thing made it home despite that huge handicap really says how good that line of Jeep was.
Oh, yeah.
You know, kids, if you ever can find one that's in good condition, you feel like having an interesting weekend car, do it! Those things are legendary. Just don't go past 2006's. Sean O
exactly.
is demonstrated right here, so that's pretty fan-flippin-tastic. So, sir, not to spend the rest of the afternoon talking about your massive collection, which I'm quite envious of, and your Jeep, of which I have equal envy for, what is your life goals and ambitions? Do you have a career that you've been wanting to pursue?
Well, I'm currently in business school at my local community college, and my father actually owns a real estate company down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's getting ready to retire here in about 5 to 10 years.
I see where this is going.
Maybe I can take over the family business, and he's expressed interest in it as well. So
I like where this is heading, young man, because the housing market has rebounded quite significantly when people thought it would not happen. The following 8 years. For instance, you know, the studio basement that I'm residing in right now, what I like to call the living room studio, the landlady bought it when the housing market was okay, and then it exploded, and then she come to realize not having a fixed rate mortgage was an extremely bad idea. But thank goodness the interest rates have gone down after it's recovered. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, pursuing the family business and keeping that going. I mean, if things continue the way they are, you will never be short on work, and you will definitely have some money to play around with. Now, what's the name of the community college that you're attending?
And it's Ivy Tech Community College.
Okay.
So it's based in Indiana, but they do a little bit in the tri-state area, so Kentucky and Ohio as well.
Oh, okay, so they have multiple campuses. Is that what it's from? Okay, nice. because I I really did want to swing by your way on my way back from Chicagoland, but I was so fixed on my mind of trying to test this fuel economy modification I did on my car that I blew right past Cincinnati, and by the time I hit the Ohio-Pennsylvania border at the last rest stop there, I'd realized the grievous mistake I made. So getting from there to Indiana is not a short drive, so I was like, how is he doing this unless if there's satellite campuses? But apparently there are, so that's good. I too am attending a community college, so guys, there's no shame in doing so. A lot of these guys that are teaching there are also from 4-year colleges and other Ivy League establishments, so you are getting the best education you can at a fraction of the cost. So by all means, partake of that.
Absolutely.
So are you doing most of your gen eds right now, or are you actually like into the meat of what you're studying?
I'm finally into the meat.
Oh, good.
And got my gen eds out of the way the previous year, and then now I'm finally getting into things that I can actually use in real life, and that's such a great feeling.
Gotcha. So you're learning about P&Ls and debits and credits and all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah, and then right now actually we're focusing on entrepreneurship.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting to see because I can actually use that when I go into the business.
Oh yeah, you're definitely going to need to have a firm grasp on that. I mean, the most of what I personally know about running a business was just a small market store, but it was in a Fortune 500 company. So I mean, I did have to keep a grasp on that stuff. And there were times when I was there, I would kind of wish I did finish college the first time I went, and it was weird because I was going information technology, but the thing was, back then the 4-year college I wanted to transfer in didn't have that program yet. They do now, which is good for me, but back then the only way to finish and get a degree was to actually have that be a minor and actually have business management be my major. And if I'd actually done that and I still managed to get hired by GameStop 3 years later, which would have been in the same timeline, I probably would still be working there despite the horrible working conditions the company has become. But I probably would have been making a much higher 5-figure salary than I was with the comfortable one I had when I exited the company. So, yeah, stay the course with that, man. I'm very proud of you to hear that. You know, I understand, folks. I understand that college is not for everyone. I mean, look at me. I went back to it, and it only took me 14 years to do it. But, you know, it's never too late to return. You can ask my Uncle Ron, who owns 5 bachelor degrees, which he got in the last 18 years, if I want to remember correctly. But I mean, you know, he's like 54, and he's doing that kind of stuff. So there is always an opportunity, and there's always a chance to pursue something on a professional level that you love. So kudos to you, Sean.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Now, do you have any gaming guilty pleasures, sir?
Oh, that's a long list.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got some really, really stupid stuff like the My Little Pony game on iOS, or something as simple as oh gosh, something flew out of my head. It was for the NES that I just absolutely love. If I loved it, I would remember it, right? I'm sure it'll come back to me if it's that important. But about you, sir.
Well, the first one that comes to mind is Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball. I mean,
now, is it the first one or the second one?
Just the first one.
Okay, the good one then.
It's such a crappy game.
Yeah.
Like, nobody plays it for the actual gameplay.
Right.
Like, let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah,
right
the gratuitous amounts of cheesecake.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I guess I remember playing it a lot at my friend's house back in the day.
Yeah.
And that was when we were teenagers and hormones were going all crazy.
Yeah,
so.
it's like, whoa, what's this? There's a great awakening above and below.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one that comes to mind is a game on Super Nintendo called Mr. Nuts.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the one with the squirrel?
Yes.
Okay, I remember the video game vault about that one.
Yes, and it's so just weird, but it's a good platformer, kind of. Not the best, but it's just, I don't know. It's really hard for a Super Nintendo game anyway.
Oh,
so.
man.
But yeah, it's a fun one. I like it.
Yeah. So. Oh, I remember what it was. It was Metal Mech on the NES. It's absolutely terrible. Where you're piloting this mech that looks like Ed 209, but it only has like 3 frames of animation. But it's super awkward to pilot, and then you can get out of it, and you be a little guy and just shoot other guards and get into other mechs. It's not as cool as Metal Warriors on the Super Nintendo by any stretch of the imagination, but it's so unbelievably cheesy, and the game tries to take itself way too seriously. Look it up. You'll find some Let's Play. I'm pretty sure Franco Maddox probably played it at this point. Plug for Frankie. But it's so bad. Yeah, but I love it for some reason.
Just like the Power Glove.
Yeah, it's so bad. Oh, man. So, yeah, that's good stuff. Now, Mr. Nuts, how did you come about finding that? Did you find that because of the Video Game Vault, or did you just find that from your fantastic ability to find stuff of note at sales and what have you?
Well, I actually grew up with it. I have
an
older sister, and she's 29, and we grew up with the Super Nintendo.
Right.
And that was one of the games we got for Christmas in 95, I think. So
you came by it honestly then.
Yeah, years and years ago. And honestly, my sister's the only reason I'm so big into retro gaming, because she's always just been into that, and it's what I grew up with, And I don't know much of, like the newer stuff. Like, I don't have a Xbox One or a PS4. I've just always kind of stuck to the retro stuff because it's more fun to me, and it's cheaper too, honestly.
It certainly can be at times. I mean, I managed to score a copy of Goemon's Mystical Ninja 64 for a whole lot less than the street value is worth. But that thing is a hell of a game in the early 3D era. So yeah, I can totally relate to you about finding stuff for cheap and really diving in head first with that. Mm-hmm. Very nice. So what is your favorite game and why, while we're talking about finding cool stuff?
Well, honestly, that's a real tough one for me. I've got so many games that I love just for different reasons, but Earthbound honestly holds a special place in my heart. It's so cheesy and just, I don't know.
Fuzzy pickles!
Yeah, just things like that, but it's all in one package that it's so well put together. The music is absolutely phenomenal. Like, I've used that in certain, like, slideshows for projects I've done, like music from the game and things like that. It's just, I don't know, it's just so wonderful, and I can't say enough good things about it. I don't know. I'm probably the only one in my friends group that actually appreciates it, because I've had other friends try and go through it, and they just can't quite get into it.
Oh.
And it's a shame, but I don't know. As long as there are a group of people out there that appreciate it for what it is, I'm okay with that. So.
Yeah. There are some of those people that have just played Square RPGs or some of the Enix ones where they take themselves very seriously, and that's all they can understand when it comes to an RPG. They have to be serious and stuff. And you go ahead and you play Earthbound, and you're walking around going to find a crater, and Pokey's tagging along with you, and you attack, and Pokey goes to attack, but he complains instead. You're like, what is this? It's just so nutty and crazy. Yeah, Earthbound is a very solid one, and if you guys haven't played it, like I said, it's on the Virtual Console. Go ahead and take it, because Nintendo had to go through pretty Herculean efforts to get that re-release, because there was some music samples from music by John Lennon and a couple of other people that they had to kind of work out a deal to go ahead and get that re-released, because to the best of my knowledge, that music is still in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and another game, if you ever get the chance to play it, Super Mario RPG. This is one of the finest RPGs on the Super Nintendo. So
I absolutely agree.
It's probably my second favorite game of all time. I guess for the sheer amount of hours that I put into it, as a kid or as an adult, I'd probably easily put 500 hours into it.
And it's really easy to do that, because the game itself, if you're looking at raw numbers, it's actually kind of short, kind of the same way Chrono Trigger is, but you can make it long if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's just that much to do.
That and just the replay value. I'll beat the game, and then I'm just like, I want to go do it again.
Yeah.
And it's so well put together, and it's a shame that was the last time that Square and Nintendo would work together for a while. So
I really, really wish they would get together and either do a full-blown remake or finally do a full-blown sequel.
Oh, yes.
And if they want to expand it to other people within the Nintendoverse, that would be cool too. They did have cameos from Link and Samus. Why not have them be in there as hidden playable characters,
Oh, yeah. One can hope, though.
Yeah, seriously. And so while we're on the subject of Super Mario RPG, tell me about the time that you first encountered Culex.
Well, the first time I encountered him, I actually wasn't playing the game. It was my sister playing. I was younger.
Oh my gosh! So you witnessed this from somebody else.
Like, I didn't even know what to think about it. And of course, she got her ass handed to her, and we didn't know what to do. So we leveled up as much as we could and went back. Still got our asses handed to us. And what it came down to was giving Peach the lazy shell armor, and then just having her heal the party and revive them, and then you just grind it out. So.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. When I was first playing it, I didn't understand the premise of the lazy shell armor. I definitely understood what the lazy shell weapon was for, but the lazy shell armor was like, this is lowering her attack by so much. I don't understand why I would want to do that, so I always kept the royal dress. But years later, I understand why. She's just going to be healing everybody and not be offensive, because that's actually what I did. I had her spec to be an offensive powerhouse. But, you know, I wish I had thought about it a little bit better. You know, she needs to take care of herself, but also she had the easiest healing out of anybody in the party. Sorry, Mallow. You can learn the shocker, but you can't learn to heal the entire party the way Peach can.
Mallow was always my least favorite character. I don't think I used him. I mean, like, he seemed okay as a character, but he just sucked in battle. I'm like, just go away. It was always Geno or Bowser were my go-to.
Yeah, seriously. Especially with, I think it's Geno Whirl, where he throws like a sonic boom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if you time the hit with that one, I think it's a one-hit KO. I could be mistaken about that. Or it does like an absurd amount of damage or something like that.
And it only worked on one boss, and it was like the one right before you went into the factory or the last level. So,
right, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that vividly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Culex was definitely one of those hidden bosses that really just made you go, what the F is they thinking? What the F is going on?
Oh, yeah. It was just such a different tone from the rest of the game.
It was! And I was like, I recognize this music. It was from Final Fantasy IV. Although I was surprised they didn't use 6 because that was the most current game at the time. But when the victory music played and he left, I'm like, what, that's it? No, come back. I want to know what's going on. You know, I was hoping it was going to be a whole side quest or something like that. But my little 12-year-old brain somehow had to rationalize, why is there a Final Fantasy-esque character in a game that is not Final Fantasy? And it drove me mad for quite some time. But yeah, that was one of the best surprises and one of the most difficult RPG battles I'd ever played in forever. So... Now, what games are you currently playing?
Well, I'm actually going through Resident Evil 4 again on the Xbox 360, the remake.
Yeah.
I love that so much. And then, actually, this is probably my third or fourth time going through it on my Xbox, but every time there's an update that they put out, I have a third-party hard drive. It wipes that, and for some reason, I keep putting my saves on there. So it's been wiping my saves and giving me a reason to go back and just redo everything again. So.
Well, they just updated the console to have expanded cloud storage up to 2 gigabytes.
Yeah, and that's what I put my saves on now. I'm learning as I get older. So.
Yeah. And you know what? The 360 version, that was actually the first time I ever actually played it on professional and actually completed it.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to say it was because of the achievement dangling over my head and my completionist attitude had to have it, but holy shit, that is really, really hard.
Well, you know, honestly, I kind of cheat when I beat it on professional. I go to the Special 2 costume, which puts Ashley in the Knight's armor.
Oh, well, I totally did that too, yeah, but... Yeah, I totally did that too, but there's still the parts like the lake monster.
Oh gosh,
if you take one hit, you have to use a healing item because you will not be fast enough to swim back to the boat.
Oh yeah. I think if I remember right, I beat Krauser, and then the boss battle after that where you're in the cages trying to escape from the guy.
Oh my god.
That's where I got stuck, and I just couldn't deal with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, people say don't buy the TMP, it's a waste of money.
Oh no, TMP is godlike.
Yeah, and I'm like, the mine thrower is a waste of money. Never buy the mine thrower. The TMP is great when you don't have the shotgun and those bastards with the shields keep coming at you.
Absolutely.
But that would be the boss fight that really shines with the TMP being a go-to weapon. Yeah, you could use them on El Gigantes. That's always good too. But you can get away with the shotgun and the pistol, and if you're good enough, the sniper rifle as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is an absurdly tough fight on professional. I mean, you could actually still use the knife trick on Krauser, but that bastard in the cage.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yikes!
It's such a nightmare.
It is.
It's so satisfying because now the file that I'm playing through, I have the Chicago typewriter, so I'm plowing through the game, baby.
I love that thing. I mean, I know they brought it back for Revelations 2, but it's not unlimited ammo like that one is. Especially when you're using special costume number 2, he goes ahead and tips his fedora. I always thought that was great. That's good stuff. I'm hoping in my heart of hearts that they'll go ahead and port it one last time to the Xbox One, because they had that Ultra Edition that came out on PC. And that would be cool if they could run the game completely uncompressed and do it all over again, because I noticed for some reason they didn't put the game in Dolby 5.1. They actually just used regular stereo, which drove me crazy because even the Wii and the GameCube version had Dolby Pro Logic 2.
Yeah,
so I never understood why they didn't do that, but
yeah.
Oh well. C'est la vie, life moves on, and they're remaking Resident Evil 2, so who knows? Maybe they will do 4 some down the line when they actually finish all of that stuff. So, are there any personal projects going on that you care to discuss? You know, we know you're working on your Jeep, but is there anything else going on out in Sean's world?
Well, nothing too much right now. I'm going to school and working, and I currently work as a cook at a country club. And yeah, that works out really well. And then I'm also the golf pro up there, which is hilarious because I've never played golf in my life. Like, I know the rules of golf and all that, but I've never touched a golf club ever. So, but they're willing to pay me $15 an hour to pretend I know things about golf.
Oh, so. Man, I'm moving out there right meow. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I need, because the scratch I'm making right now is absolutely pitiful. You know, when you're a white over 30 college student, trying to find employees is kind of difficult because they know your shelf life is limited. So,
right.
But yeah, no, that's 15 these days. That's a livable wage. That's pretty fantastic.
And admittedly, I'm a very rare case. I mean, the majority of the people around here are making minimum or 10. So I mean, I don't know. I'm very appreciative to be in the position that I am, but I've also been with this company for going on 7 years now.
Whoa!
So I've worked my way up a little bit.
Yeah, sir. Okay. See, again, you come by it honestly. So you've definitely put in your time to definitely earn that reward and stature for everything. So that's. Wow, man, that's really awesome. I mean, you're firing on all 8 if you pardon the automotive comparison right there, but you definitely have a lot going on that is truly most people do not have that kind of I'm not calling it a luxury. What's the fortunate. Some people are definitely not even quite there at your age, so you've definitely earned it. So good on you, man. So well, yes, now the clock on the wall is telling me we're almost at the end here, but any parting words, any words for the G1s about the real you, and anything you can impart onto them for your personal life experience?
Well, it's kind of going back to what we said earlier. Just do well by others, and they'll do well by you. Maybe not right away, but it'll come around full circle. I mean, and just, I don't know. Appreciate the G1 community for what it is. I mean, we are all family. So just embrace that as much as you can and just make the best of it, because that's what we're here for. We're here for support. It's not just about the video games, guys. We are here for real life situations, anything you need to talk about. We are all here for you. Yes,
absolutely. Because it's the common interest is the video games, but we are a diverse bunch of people. And absolutely, to Sean's point, we're all family and friends, and you can definitely reach out and talk to anybody that you do truly wish for. So do not be shy.
Yeah.
So definitely. So, well, Sean, thank you so much for this. This has been an absolute blast. I mean, this is the first time ever that you and I have actually spoken face to face, and I'll definitely say, man, you're a riot.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, if I'm ever out in Cincinnati land ever again, and I do plan on going back out to Chicago, maybe I'll have to make a diversion down there before I head up to Detroit and then finally to Chicago. And I'll have to go ahead and buy you a beer because this has been absolutely fantastic. So
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And it's been great talking to you, too.
Yeah, it's been totally awesome. So I will join you back up on the Skype machine in a moment, and we'll go ahead and sign off right here.
And make sure you watch The Industry, guys.
Yes, please watch that show. I definitely want a second season of that. So
And not just the Death Battle one.
Yeah, not just the Death Battle one. Seriously, go ahead, watch that, and share it on all the social media platforms that you participate in. It's definitely important for the old school G1s that have been there since the beginning, and it's a great program for the newer G1s to really get to know the people that are involved, because they say all that stuff is based on actual events with some creative license. You're seeing mostly what you really are seeing when you meet these people in real life. So, good deal. So, anyways, be right back, Shauno.
See you guys.
All right. Cheers. Man, and there you have it. My God, Sean Madden, what a guy. I mean, he's definitely something else. And, you know, having such an incredible presence on Twitter, you would be doing yourselves an incredible disservice to not go and follow him. So you definitely saw his name on the screen, G1_Madden07, MADDEN07. Please go ahead and give him a follow and tell him how much you appreciate for what he's done for the guys back in the office. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Go ahead and be sure to follow me up on the Twitter machine right here at Sergeant Harvey. And, of course, all the wonderful links and social media down there scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You know, we got me on Twitch as Tom the Iron Man, all one word, and also at Hitbox TV, all those same word, and of course YouTube at Iron Man 3582, which is a reference to something. I promise one day I will explain it, but yes, definitely go and watch it up on there, and make sure you're subscribing to that YouTube channel, but as well as G1 Features on ScrewAttack.com to go ahead and streamline your viewing experience. It's definitely important to do that because we put in a lot of effort to this, and it's not just this program. There's the Scroovies, there's Hitbox, I'm sorry, not Hitbox, Hitstun, the collaborative project between Woody Man, ScottBox64, and A Zero to Hero. So by all means, people, go ahead and follow that because there's definitely more coming down the pipe, as you definitely heard from Mad Hero on the previous installment of the G1 interview. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Good morning, good day, and good evening. Darn it. Special thanks goes out to Craig Skistimus, Sean Bolin, and Sean Hines and Mad Hero for giving me the opportunity to continue releasing the G1 interview in this video format and releasing it exclusively for Screw Attack Tom. Special thanks to, oh my God. Special thanks to Craig Skistimus, Sean Hines, Sean Bolin, and Mad Hero 15 for allowing me to continue the G1 features. No! Special thanks to Craig Skistimus, Sean Hines, Sean Bolin, and Matt Hero for allowing me to continue the G1 interview for G1 features exclusively on ScrewAttack.com. Good morning, good evening, and good day to whatever you're watching this, and thank you for watching the G1 interview. Take care, guys. Hey yo G1 Nation, thank you for watching to the latest installment to the very end. It was really good meeting Sean for the first time, and it really shows that he's just as good-hearted online as he is face-to-face on Skype. Do him a solid and follow him on the Twitter machine to keep in touch with him. You never know what he's going to send to the HQ next. And if by some chance you haven't seen the last installment with the boss himself, Mad Hero 15, go right ahead and click on the annotation added to your watch queue of G1 interview goodness. It'll bring you up to speed on how he's the master of the helm and how you can contribute to the G1 features section on the site. And while you're at it, be sure to sub this channel and G1 features on Screw Attack to streamline your viewing experience. Speaking of the site, continue to spread the word about G1 features on all social media platforms that you participate in. If it wasn't for social media, I never would have found out about Sean Madden, and we gotta keep reaching out to find more G1s that we're not in touch with. And in doing so, we can bring those old G1s and new G1s to ScrewAttack.com, our home, and a place we all love so very much. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, guys. Because the VIP party was off the chain. It was so good. And I don't drink. And, you know, people were still having a blast down there. They actually gave me free soda because he had drink tickets, and that's what you turn in. And they said, "What do you have?" It's like, "I'll just have a double tall cranberry." And they're gonna reach for the vodka. I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. You don't understand. I just want the cranberry juice." And they're like, "Well, you can have your ticket back." And I'm like, "Maybe I could sell these tickets." I ultimately ended up giving them to Dylan Toomey because he was gonna need it.
Oh gosh, good old.
He was pretty lit by the end of the night.
I can see that.
And the really funny part was Bolin was trying to like introduce himself to him, and he was like hovering over him for the majority of the night, and Toomey had no idea he was behind him. So by the time he saw him, he turned around and he was just like, "I love you!" and just like went in and did like a bear hug. And Toomey's really short compared to Bolin, so it was great. And I just wanted to have I will